This production is made possible by the generous support of the following sponsors: Marriott Foundation, Music Mart, Alaska State Council on the Arts, Fairbanks Arts Association, and Community Covenant Church. Thank you.
For the Fairbanks Summer Arts Festival, I'm James Maschler. Welcome to our Guest Artist Spotlight Series. My guest today is Jamie Maschler. Jamie is a world-renowned accordion performer and teacher. She has toured all around the world, plays in the Creosote duo and the band El Canto, and works at Potosa Accordion, where she teaches lessons, repairs, and sells the incredibly intricate instrument. Thank you for joining us, Jamie.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so first question ranges a little bit into the hypothetical. So the legend goes that you started playing the accordion when you were 4 years old, when a door-to-door accordion salesman comes to your door with a royal blue instrument that is child-sized, and you begin to fall in love with the accordion and go from there. In an alternate reality where the traveling door-to-door salesman doesn't hit your side of the street, what are you doing today? Do you still find your way to the accordion, or are you doing something else?
Well, that is an excellent question. Yeah, I started the door-to-door salesman. If I didn't meet him then, would I still be playing the accordion? I mean, I guess I have two answers for that. I think that the accordion is for me. It's like my soulmate, and so I think we would have found each other at some point. And if I didn't find the accordion, I imagine I would be some sort of scientist. I've always liked, science and, genetics specifically. And I think that maybe I would have gone that path. But I think that the accordion would always still be a part of my life. I think we would have found each other eventually.
So the accordion is a relatively young instrument. It's just been around for a couple of 100 years, almost. Who would you put onto your Mount Rushmore of accordion? Like the top 4 influential accordion players in the last couple of 100 years?
So I really enjoy Brazilian music. I've studied a bunch of different music along the way, and there's so many names and so many influences and everything. When I first heard Brazilian music, I had never heard my instrument played in that particular way. And so it just changed my view on everything. So I would say, in that lineage of the forró music that I play, was Luis Gonzaga, Dominguinhos, and Maestrinho. And of course there's lots of other names in there, but I would say that that's kind of the 3 people that I listen to daily. But there's also other accordion players that did really amazing things. Anthony Gallerini, he was a huge name in the accordion world here in the US, and he actually had a part in designing the way that the left-hand system works. So the left hand of the accordion is called, the system that I play is called Stradella. And he went and figured out which notes needed to be in the chords, and he was a really smart dude and made it so that you can do some chord combining stuff. And so he was a real pioneer of the instrument, and he loved it, I think, as much as I do.
So there's a story that when you moved out to Seattle, you got a regular gig at a wine bar, and that cemented your belief that this was going to be your vocation. When did you start calling yourself a professional musician?
Gosh, when I got the call for that wine gig, that was super fun. It was weekly, and that was the first weekly gig that I had ever done, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I had done a lot of performances though. I grew up in like a competition sort of world where I did a lot of competing. I did a lot of learning songs and then playing songs. But like competing and like professional musician, I don't know. Like it's like it was like a different sort of thing. I think when I found playing with other people is when I was like, this is what a professional musician is. And this is something that I could see myself studying, learning, and doing the rest of my life.
So you mentioned Brazil. Much of your music is from the country and from the style, and I know you've been there a few times in the last decade or so. If someone had one bucket trip type list to go to Brazil, what do they have to see or do while they're there?
Oh gosh, Brazil is huge. Brazil is so big. I would say for somebody going to Brazil, my best advice is like go for at least a month. Like a week isn't enough. 2 weeks isn't enough. 3 weeks isn't enough. Like you gotta go for at least a month because it's so big and there's so much that you can see. I mean, one of my favorite cities, of course, in Brazil is Rio de Janeiro. I love it there. It's so beautiful and so magical and the beaches are huge. It reminds me of the coast of Oregon, you know, with all of like the big like ocean spreads and the big rocks that are in the middle. It's like that, but like on steroids. It's just huge and it's so big and so magical. And the music is amazing and the drinks are good and the food's good and there's sunshine and it's really amazing. Yeah, Rio's great. You know, São Paulo is also really, you know, another city, big city. I think it's the second largest city in the world. Is that right?
Say it with authority and I'll believe you.
It's the second largest city in the world.
Wow, okay.
Maybe third. I don't know. It's really big. You can like drive. I lost my wallet when I was in a cab in Sao Paulo. And I just remember being in this cab for, you know, gosh, driving in. We were still in the city proper. And we were like in the cab for like an hour and a half, I think. It was big and far. And also, so the type of music that I play is from the northeastern part of Brazil. And I've been there a few times to Salvador and Fortaleza, and Jericoacoara is another great fishing village that has sand dunes everywhere, and they have a big music festival there every year called the Choro Jazz Festival, where they like bring in this great production and there's music and it's on the beach and it's just so good.
You sound like someone who's been stuck in Seattle for a whole rainy winter.
Quarantined during a pandemic, I know. You're making me sad, I know.
So you and Gabe Hall Rodriguez are part of a band named Creosote. Where did that name come from? Were you cleaning a chimney and like, you know what this reminds me of? The accordion.
I know. Well, we didn't realize that it was a toxic chemical until after we had already named ourselves and put out our first album. So it was kind of something we learned along the way. But creosote, in addition to being a toxic chemical that's in chimneys and telephone poles, it is also a bush that's in the desert in Arizona. I imagine it probably grows other places too, but it's got little yellow flowers on it. And when you take some of the plant and rub it in your hands, it smells like camphor, which is the smell of rain. And he was from the desert, from Arizona, and I lived here, which smelled like rain. And so we were thinking, plant from the desert that smells like rain. Oh, that would be very cute. But like naming yourself as a band is so hard. I'm sure it's like naming a child. We don't have any kids yet, but I imagine that it's like, we went through hundreds of names, just like, we're doing ourselves this, we're doing ourselves that. No. And we finally settled on Creosote. And then one of my students told me that it was the toxic chemical. And I was like, oh no.
I mean, at least you didn't call yourself asbestos or arsenic, or there are lots of great uses for creosote. And it smells like rain. So
Exactly. And it does. It smells really amazing.
So you have engaged in the educational barter system where you've traded accordion lessons for Portuguese lessons. You've also traded accordion lessons for massage therapy. What are some other things that you have traded lessons for?
Dental work. I trade accordion lessons for teeth cleanings. One of my students is a dental hygienist, and she's great and amazing. And we figured out a trade for doing that. What else? I mean, I'm sure maybe tickets to a ball game or something like that, like the Mariners or Seahawks. I think I've done that once or twice before. Oh gosh, so Gabe just had some dental work done, and he was telling him that he played accordion, and they called him before his last appointment, and they were like, what are the chances that you could bring your accordion in today? And he was just like, really good. They're really good. Bring my accordion today. People love it. It gets you in all, accordion players have all sorts of, people who find the accordion come from all sorts of different backgrounds,
Well, I think today might be a great day to play accordion. So you want to give me a lesson?
Yeah, I do. I have been looking forward to this. Let's learn something new. Okay, so just real quickly, I'm going to give some basics of how the instrument works. Because sometimes, I think it's good to know how it works. So this is a reed block. This is the heart and soul of the accordion. This is a pretty weathered accordion reed block. It's a little frayed here, as you can see, but it's for demonstration purposes. So the accordion is a free reed instrument. The reed is right here. So this is the part that makes the sound. This is aluminum, this is steel, and these are all different length, width, and height, and that's what affects the pitch. That's what makes the different sounds. So this is on the inside of the accordion, so it's right underneath the keys. And then on this side, we have these holes, and this is what the key, so when you press down a key, there's a keypad here, and when you press it down, it lifts up the keypad, and it allows air to go inside of this hole. And then it basically works like a harmonica, right? So if I just blow into this, it makes a sound. So it's just air that's moving through there. So the bellows are the part that make the sound, right? They're like your lungs of the instrument. We were talking about this earlier of the threshold of learning the instrument is all three of the things happening at one time, where it's the piano keyboard, which is the same thing as a piano. The left hand is less complicated than it looks. I promise. It's like a fretboard of a guitar. Just go into it with that mindset. And then the bellows are your lungs. So that's where all of the sound originates. So in order for it to make noise, you have to be pushing or pulling to make a sound. So, okay, let's put it on and let's talk about how to hold it. So, yes, exactly. So you put it on just like a front backpack. You got these straps right here. Put them on. The bellows go on top of your left thigh, right? They actually hold all of the weight of the instrument. So, they're a little bit on the heavier side, the accordions are. And
that's okay, so am I.
Me too. So the bellows, so all the weight of the accordion should be mostly on your thigh, not on your shoulders. I don't recommend standing while playing the accordion. In some genres, that's the only way to do that. And so you do that, but then you end up having back problems, and that's, I suppose, just part of the territory of playing.
That's what the massage therapy is for.
That's what the massage therapy is for, exactly. Okay, so then the keyboard is on the right-hand side, and then you want the keyboard to hook on the inside of your right thigh. So you actually want it to make contact there. And the reason for that is, so when you push the bellows, right, because that's part of the instrument, you have to push and pull, is when you're pushing so that the accordion doesn't slide across your lap. So you got it on your shoulders, your leg, and on the inside here. Okay, cool. So let's start with the left hand and let's demystify it here just a little bit because
there's so many buttons.
There's a lot of buttons. A standard size accordion has 120 bass buttons over here, right? And there's different sizes of accordions where they get rid of some of these rows in here. So there's only 96 or 48 or 72 or 12. But if you think about it, there's 6 rows. This inside row is called the counterbass row. You don't really need that when you're first starting. So just know that it's there, but we don't really need it. The next row is the most important row. So it's the second from the bellows, right? This guy right here. And it has the notes that are marked. Can you feel the, and I don't know what, most of the accordions are marked on here, but there should be 3 of them that are marked. Can you feel the ones?
So there's one like 3 down.
Yeah.
That feels like it's raised. And then there's one that feels like it's got a divot in it.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, there's another one that feels raised.
So it's like Braille at that point, right? Those are your home bases. Those are where you know where you're at and how to find yourself on the instrument. Those are most important. They're fundamentals, right? I call them the bases, the fundamental bass row. You'll hear me refer to that. That's what I mean. Okay, so we have 4 more rows after that. So the first 2 rows are only individual notes. And then the next rows that are out from there are multiple notes happening at the same time. So this is where it's really cool. It's like an auto harp. Have you ever played an auto harp before?
Yes, but don't ask me when, because I couldn't even name the decade.
That's okay. So when I press down this button right here, it's playing C major. It's playing C, E, G, and C, right? That's beside the point. But when I press down one button, it plays a C major chord. They're just chords, right? They're just, when you press down one note, it's playing multiple notes at the same time. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to take your 4th finger, your ring finger on your left side, and I want you to play the marked button that's in the middle.
Well, that's all our time for today. I've successfully played the accordion.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to go 4, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4, 3. Your turn. Here we go. Yeah.
It's almost too easy, Jamie.
Okay, do it again. Do it 4 times in a row and go 2 bars out, 2 bars in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, awesome job. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, are you ready to add the right hand on top of it or what?
Born ready.
We're just gonna play we're only gonna play 2 measures. It's totally fine. You can do it. I have faith in you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find C on our right hand. Where's C? Put your thumb there. So then just lay your hands out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Okay, so here's where we're gonna go. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go 3, 5, 3, 1. Your turn.
I have a bad feeling about where this is going.
One more time, just like that. Cool. Okay, so this is where we're going. So, You're gonna take your left hand and you're gonna play. Let's just do the first note. So we start with our third finger, right? We're starting with E, and we're gonna play bass chord on our left hand, which is 4, 3, 3. So listen once. That's all we're gonna do.
Yep.
I have faith in you, James. I know you're smart.
Thanks. Okay, so. So close. So close.
Yeah, that was it. Yes, yeah, excellent.
Well, so that's our time for today. A special thanks to Jamie Maschler for coming by. Jamie, where can people find out more about you and your music and what you do?
Sure, yes. I have a website, www.jamiemaschler.com, so just my name.com. I'm on Facebook. Gabe and I, my partner Creosote, we do online performances a lot on Facebook.
And if you want to learn more about the Fairbanks Summer Arts Festival, you can check us out at www.fsaf.org. We'll see you next time.
Bye.